Hey everyone, and welcome back to the NOSR Webs podcast. Yeah, so today we're diving headfirst into the world of crypto, specifically the Bitcoin crash that's got everyone talking. So whether you're a crypto whiz or just kind of dipping your toes into the whole digital gold mine thing, this deep dive is for you. Because trust me, understanding this Bitcoin roller coaster, it's crucial for anyone, even if you're just a little curious about the future of finance. Oh, and speaking of securing your financial future, you got to check out the amazing offers we've got in the description below. Who knows, maybe Bitcoin's your ticket to some of them. Okay, back to the crash. So, Bitcoin was on a roll, right? Strutting its stuff towards $100,000. Everyone was cheering, the party was on. Then bam, it tripped, stumbled, and face planted. And now the big question is why? What the heck happened? Well, we've got a mountain of research here to help us unpack this crypto mystery. It's like, picture Bitcoin as this sleek rocket ship, soaring towards the moon, everything smooth sailing. Then, boom, warning lights start flashing, course deviation. So today, we're figuring out what triggered those warning lights.
And if this rocket's going to regain its trajectory, let's set the scene. November 26th, Bitcoin takes a dramatic nosedive. We're talking a plunge from nearly $100,000 around $93,584. That's a 4% drop in just 24 hours. And the aftershocks weren't limited to Bitcoin. The entire crypto market felt the tremor, shedding a staggering $200 billion in value. That's a drop from a combined market cap of $3.2 trillion, folks. I mean, that's a number that could make even the most seasoned crypto veterans sweat a little, right? But here's where things get really interesting. What exactly triggered the sudden shift?
Well, it is intriguing, isn't it? The crash, as dramatic as it was, wasn't entirely out of the blue. Several factors were kind of brewing like a chain reaction just waiting to be set off. One of the main culprits was a good old-fashioned wave of profit-taking. Remember how Bitcoin had been on this incredible rally, partly fueled by the US elections? And as it approached that, coveted $100,000 mark, investors saw an opportunity to cash in on those gains. Classic case of buy low, sell high.
So it's that classic, should I stay or should I go? Dilemma, huh? You're at the casino winning big, but that temptation to keep pushing your luck, it's just too strong.
Exactly. And in the crypto world, this temptation gets a turbo boost from something we call leverage. Think of it like using borrowed money to amplify your bets. Now, when things are going your way, leverage can make your profits skyrocket. But when the tides turn against you, well, it magnifies your losses just as dramatically.
Oh, I see. So picture those flashing casino lights again. High stakes, big wins, and the potential for even bigger wipeouts. But what about this leverage to the gills comment I keep hearing? Who dropped that gem?
That was Michael Novogratz. He's a prominent figure in the crypto space. He was basically highlighting the sheer amount of risk baked into the system. And when you're dealing with a market as volatile as crypto, that level of leverage is just asking for a wild ride.
So imagine everyone at this crypto casino suddenly rushing to cash out their chips all at once. Pure chaos. But it wasn't just profit-taking and leverage at play, was it? Didn't those global tensions everyone's been talking about have a role too?
You're absolutely right. Global events always have a big impact on investor confidence. When the world feels shaky, people naturally gravitate towards safer assets. It's that flight to safety, as they call it. And that puts downward pressure on assets like Bitcoin. It's a reminder that even with its decentralized nature, the crypto world is still intertwined with global trends.
It makes sense, right? Like planning a dream vacation, then suddenly your dream destination is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. You'd hesitate, wouldn't you? But hold on. Amidst all this talk of crashes and uncertainty, isn't there a silver lining here? Didn't MicroStrategy make a massive Bitcoin purchase recently? It's got to count for something, right?
Absolutely. MicroStrategy dropping a cool $5.4 billion on 386,500 Bitcoins. Now that's a statement, all right. But here's where things get a little complex. For us, average folks, these institutional purchases often happen over the counter, or OTC, and that means they don't have an immediate impact, like a visible impact on the Bitcoin price you see, on your crypto exchange.
So it's like a secret Bitcoin shopping spree for the big players.
Yeah.
Happening behind the scenes while we're all glued to the charts wondering what's going on.
Pretty much. And this delayed impact, it can create a lot of head scratching. Retail investors might be thinking, hey, if someone just bought a mountain of Bitcoin, why isn't the price skyrocketing? But the key takeaway here is that institutional interest remains strong, even when the market seems like it's on a tilt-a-whirl.
Okay, so we've got profit-taking jitters, leverage mayhem, a dash of global uncertainty, and a secret Bitcoin shopping spree by the bigwigs. It's enough to make your head spin. But before I reach for the motion sickness meds, there's one more thing we need to unpack: support levels. It sounds kind of technical, I know, but it's actually pretty crucial for figuring out where Bitcoin might be headed next.
You're right, support levels are key. Think of them like the foundation of a house. If that foundation cracks, you've got problems. In Bitcoin's case, that foundation, that support level, was hovering around $94,000, $95,000. If that level breaks, it could trigger a cascade of further drops, maybe even a plunge down to $88,000.
Yeah, so Bitcoin's doing a tightrope walk over a very deep chasm. One wrong step, and it's a long fall down. But even with all this talk of crashes and shaky foundations, I'm still feeling a glimmer of optimism. I mean, those long-term predictions for Bitcoin are still pretty rosy, right?
That's the spirit. Yeah, despite the recent drama, the long-term outlook for Bitcoin remains bullish. This isn't its first rodeo, and it certainly won't be its last. Bitcoin has a knack for bouncing back, often stronger than before.
Okay, that's a relief. But what's fueling this long-term confidence? What are the experts saying? What's the secret sauce that's making them so optimistic?
Well, if you look at Bitcoin's track record, it's been remarkably resilient. It weathers the storms, shakes off the dips, and keeps chugging along. Many experts, including the leverage to the gills guy himself, Michael Novogratz, he believes Bitcoin is destined to break through that $100,000 ceiling. He's even pointed to the new U.S. administration's crypto-friendly stance as a potential tailwind.
So even though things are looking a little shaky right now, there's a good chance this Bitcoin rocket is just refueling for its next big launch. I like the sound of that. But let's break it down for our listeners, for those who might be feeling a bit lost in space. What are the key takeaways from all this?
The big takeaway is that the crypto market is a complex beast, influenced by a mix of investor psychology, economic currents, global events, and technological advancements. This recent crash was a stark reminder of that complexity.
Right, so don't put all your eggs in one basket. Stay informed and buckle up for some wild rides along the way. But on a personal note, given everything we've learned today, where do you stand on Bitcoin's future? Are you climbing aboard this rocket or waving goodbye from the ground?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, I've learned to be cautious about making bold predictions, especially in this, ever-evolving world of crypto. But I will say this, I'm captivated by the potential of Bitcoin and the blockchain technology that underpins it. I believe it has the power to reshape finance and maybe even redefine the way our society functions.
Wow, that's a bold statement. So while you're not making any promises, you're definitely a believer in the long-term vision.
Absolutely. And I think that's a crucial point for our listeners to grasp. Forget the short-term price swings. The underlying technology and the ideas behind Bitcoin, those are transformative. It's a movement that transcends any single crash or rally.
That's a powerful way to put it. So while we're dissecting this Bitcoin crash today, it's important to remember that it's just one chapter in a much larger saga. And speaking of captivating sagas and opportunities, have you checked out those amazing offers in the description below yet? It's a treasure trove of resources and deals just waiting to be discovered. But let's get back to Bitcoin.
It's fascinating how we talk about Bitcoin as this revolutionary technology, this game changer. But when you peel back the layers, a lot of what drives its price is good old-fashioned human behavior.
Right. It's like we can't escape our primal instincts, even in the digital realm. Fear, greed, the fear of missing out, it's all there, playing out on the crypto stage.
Exactly. And when you mix those, potent emotions with the inherent volatility of the crypto market, well, you get a recipe for some truly wild price swings. It's a constant reminder that investing, whether in crypto or traditional markets, it's as much about understanding human psychology as it is about understanding the assets themselves.
So basically, Bitcoin is like a financial Rorschach test. We project our own hopes and fears onto it. And that shapes how we react to the market's every twist and turn.
That's a brilliant analogy. But amidst all this talk of psychology and market mayhem, there's another crucial element we need to consider: long-term trends.
You mean like, will Bitcoin actually survive this crash? Because I'm getting flashbacks to those Bitcoin is dead headlines that used to pop up every few months.
Well, remember, Bitcoin has been declared dead more times than we can count. Yet it always seems to rise from the ashes like a digital phoenix. I think the key is to separate the short-term noise from the long-term signal.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a moment and look at the bigger picture. What does the future hold for Bitcoin? What are the forces that could shape its trajectory in the years to come?
One of the most exciting developments is the growing institutional interest in Bitcoin. We've already talked about MicroStrategy's grand entrance, but they're not alone. More and more companies, hedge funds, even pension funds are starting to dip their toes into the crypto waters.
So it's like Bitcoin is finally getting invited to the grown-ups table in the financial world.
Precisely. And that brings a lot to the table: legitimacy, stability, and of course, a whole lot more capital flowing into the market. Then there's the ever-evolving regulatory landscape. Remember, Novogratz mentioned the new U.S. administration's positive stance on crypto. Well, if that translates into clear, favorable regulations, it could be a major catalyst for Bitcoin's growth.
Absolutely. Because, let's be honest, the lack of clear regulations has been a major roadblock for crypto adoption. It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded.
Exactly. Clear regulations would bring much-needed certainty and stability, both for businesses operating in the crypto space and for investors looking to, dip their toes in. And then there's the constant wave of technological innovation happening within the crypto ecosystem itself.
You mean all those fancy DeFi protocols and NFTs that everyone's been buzzing about? They sound a bit like something out of a science fiction novel to me.
You got it. These advancements are pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain technology. And Bitcoin, as the OG cryptocurrency, stands to benefit from this broader ecosystem growth.
So it's like Bitcoin is the wise old sage of the crypto world, watching its progeny innovate and evolve, and secretly taking notes on how to stay relevant in this fast-paced digital landscape.
I love that analogy, and it's true, Bitcoin is constantly evolving. Developers are working tirelessly on improvements to its scalability, security, and functionality.
So even though Bitcoin might seem a bit slow and clunky compared to some of the newer, flashier cryptocurrencies out there, it's still got plenty of tricks up its sleeve.
Absolutely. It's like comparing a vintage muscle car to a sleek, modern sports car. Sure, the vintage car might not be as fuel efficient or have all the latest gadgets, but it's still a powerful machine with a loyal following. And in the world of finance, that kind of staying power is invaluable.
I'm sensing another one of your brilliant metaphors coming on. Are you saying Bitcoin is the classic car of the crypto world, built to last, with a timeless appeal that never goes out of style?
You nailed it. And just like those classic cars, Bitcoin's value is likely to appreciate over time, especially as it becomes increasingly scarce. Remember, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins mined. That built-in scarcity is a fundamental driver of its long-term value proposition.
It's like a digital gold rush, but instead of panning for gold, we're mining for Bitcoin. And just like with gold, the rarer it becomes, the more valuable it gets. But speaking of value, let's talk about those long-term predictions for Bitcoin. What are the numbers looking like?
Yes, the crystal ball gazing game. Well, as I said before, predicting the future is a fool's errand, especially in the crypto world. But if we consider historical trends, expert opinions, and the potential catalysts we've discussed, it's not unreasonable to believe that Bitcoin could reach and even surpass $100,000 in the coming years. Some analysts are even more bullish, predicting six-figure valuations and beyond.
Wow, that's quite a range. Though basically the future of Bitcoin is like a choose-your-own-adventure book. It could go in any number of directions, and the ending is still being written.
Precisely, and that's what makes it so exhilarating. It's a frontier full of possibilities, and we're all witnessing its evolution in real time.
Okay, so we've talked about the emotional roller coaster of investing, the long-term trends shaping Bitcoin's future, and the potential for mind-blowing gains. But let's be real for a moment. There are risks involved too, right?
Yeah.
This isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Of course. No investment is without risk, and crypto is no exception. It's a volatile market, susceptible to regulatory uncertainty, technological hiccups, and even the occasional hack or scam.
Right. It's like the Wild West of finance.
Yeah.
With all the excitement and danger that comes with it.
Exactly, and that's why it's crucial to approach crypto with a healthy dose of caution. Do your research, invest only what you can afford to lose, and never let fear or greed dictate your decisions.
Words to live by in the crypto Wild West. So before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I have to ask you a personal question. Given everything we've discussed, are you bullish or bearish on Bitcoin? Are you saddling up and riding into the sunset or heading for the hills?
You know, I've learned to be wary of making grand pronouncements, especially in the crypto world. But I'll say this, I'm incredibly fascinated by the potential of Bitcoin and blockchain technology as a whole. I believe it has the power to revolutionize finance and perhaps even society as we know it.
Wow, it's a powerful statement. So while you're not making any guarantees, you're definitely a believer in the long-term vision.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key takeaway for our listeners. Regardless of short-term price fluctuations, the underlying technology and the ideas behind Bitcoin are transformative. It's a movement that's bigger than any single crash or rally.
That's a great point. So even though we're focusing on a Bitcoin crash today, it's important to remember that this is just one chapter in a much larger story. And what a story it is. But unfortunately, we've reached the end of part 2 of our deep dive. Don't worry though, we'll be back soon with part 3. To explore even more about the factors that are shaping the crypto landscape, stay tuned. Welcome back, Crypto Explorers. We've journeyed through the crash, pondered the long-term outlook, and even delved into the fascinating world of investor psychology. But now it's time to get practical. What advice do you have for our listeners who are navigating this wild, wonderful, and sometimes downright wacky world of crypto?
Well, the first piece of advice is timeless, really. Do your research. Don't just blindly follow the hype or those screaming headlines. Take the time to truly understand the technology, the risks involved, and the potential rewards too.
Yeah, it's like learning to surf, right? You wouldn't just paddle out into a monster wave without knowing how to, pop up on your board, would you?
Exactly. And the good news is there's a vast ocean of resources out there to help you learn about crypto, websites, podcasts, online courses, you name it. It's all at your fingertips.
Speaking of resources, don't forget to check out the treasure chest of links in our description below. We've got some gems down there to help you navigate this exciting new world.
Absolutely. And once you've, armed yourself with knowledge, the next step is to craft a solid investment strategy. Figure out how much you're comfortable investing, set clear goals, and most importantly, stick to your plan.
So it's like having a crypto compass guiding you through the uncharted territories of this digital frontier, huh?
Precisely. And remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint, right? Don't get caught up in that get-rich-quick frenzy. Focus on making informed decisions and building a diversified portfolio for the long haul.
Solid advice. But what about those moments when, the market's going haywire and you're just super tempted to make an impulsive move? How do you stay grounded amidst all the chaos?
One technique I find really helpful is just taking a step back from the charts and revisiting my why. Why did I invest in Bitcoin in the first place? What do I believe about its long-term potential? It helps me refocus and tune out the noise.
So it's like having a crypto mantra to repeat when those FOMO gremlins start whispering in your ear.
Exactly. And remember, the crypto market, it never sleeps. It's a 204/7 beast. And it's easy to get sucked into that constant stream of news and price fluctuations.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like having a live news ticker implanted in your brain.
Yeah.
Sometimes I swear I can hear those buy and sell orders echoing in my dreams.
I know that feeling. But setting boundaries is crucial. You don't have to be glued to the charts every second of the day. Step away, disconnect from the digital noise, and reconnect with, the real world.
Wise words. It's easy to forget that there's a whole world outside the crypto bubble, a world where people don't talk in Satoshis and meme coins.
Absolutely. Investing should be a part of your life, not your entire life.
Okay, we've covered research, strategy, staying grounded amidst the crypto craziness, and even the importance of taking a digital detox. Any other pearls of wisdom you want to share with our listeners before we wrap up this epic deep dive?
Yeah, one final thought. Don't be afraid to seek guidance. There are a lot of experienced investors and financial advisors out there who can provide, invaluable insights and support. You don't have to navigate this complex landscape alone.
Right. It's like having a seasoned crypto Sherpa guiding you through the treacherous peaks and valleys of the market.
Exactly. Learning from others' experiences, both their triumphs and their stumbles, can save you time, money, and a whole lot of heartache in the long run.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. So, dear listeners, as we conclude our deep dive into the Bitcoin crash, remember this: the crypto world is brimming with opportunities and challenges. Be informed, be strategic, be patient, and most importantly, be ready for an extraordinary journey. And hey, for those of you who are ready to embark on this crypto adventure, don't forget to check out those amazing offers in the description below. We've got a treasure trove of resources and deals just waiting to be discovered. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and may your crypto journey be filled with profitable discoveries. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.